Good evening, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'll just wait for everybody to join today's session. I know that everybody's been excited about hearing more about the 24-hour economy, what it's about. Obviously, today was the State of the Nation's address. The president even touched on it. And so we are here to educate you all about the 24-hour economy. When you hear that, what does that mean to you? And yeah, thank you for everybody that's been joining the sessions. We had the virtual farming. I know a lot of you have joined the virtual farming as well. We're also going to be doing the soursap, investment in soursap, and then the catfish and tilapia fish farming. I know that you guys are excited about that as well. So please let me know where you are watching us from today. Comment in the box. And so we can get to know where you are and what you're doing. Yeah, it will be good to know where you're watching us from. Please comment in the box so I can speak to you all. Yes, okay. Let's see where everybody is. I'm all the way in I'm still in the US, guys. I'm still in the US. Actually went to last week I was in Dallas. Hello Enoch, thank you so much. Is that Ireland? You're watching us from Ireland? Because it wasn't complete. Let me know if you're watching us from Ireland. Yeah, I was in Dallas last week in Texas. Someone says Babylon, America, until I can take a flight. Okay. Yes, okay, Enoch, you're watching us from Ireland. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. We really appreciate you. And yeah, yesterday I was in Rhode Island, in Boston, where the Black Stars will be training, Bryant University. So I was there yesterday, very exciting as well. But yeah, great. Keep it coming. Let me know where you're watching us from. Hi, Enoch. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. No, it's good to have you guys on. Keep on coming in. Keep on coming in. I see you guys. It's good to have you. It's Friday. Friday was a Friday afternoon here, but it's Friday evening in Accra, 7 o'clock. Let me see who else is there. Okay. All right. I want to make sure that there's a few others that I know that are joining. I want to make sure that everybody joins so that when we start, you get the information that you need. Don't forget to share as well. Share the link to people who might be wanting to hear about this opportunity. When you hear 24-hour economy, what comes to your mind? It will be really good to also hear from you guys as well. And Mr. Babylon, you didn't say your name. Please let me know what your name is. Okay, watching from Maryland. Okay, so you're in the same time zone as me. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today as well. Yes, we're talking about the 24-hour economy, what the opportunities are, what does it mean to us, how can we invest back home in Ghana. We're looking at really building the economy, infrastructure, manufacturing. There's so many things that come with this. And I'm excited to really have Dr. Ishmael Nidodu on, who has so much knowledge on this. I mean, when I spoke to him, he changed my perspective on the 24-hour economy. And he's here to do the same with you guys as well. So please let me know where you're watching me from. There's more of you that are on. Let me know where you're watching me from so that we can communicate. Thank you all so much for joining today's show. Okay. Hi, Doc.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing very well indeed.
Good. Hello, Abna. Okay, we've got someone watching from New York City. Thank you for joining. Abna is in Ghana. Thank you. Doc, it was your birthday yesterday. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much.
I hope you had a lovely day.
I'm in my lively heart,
You
still in
look
a birthday mood. So
still in a birthday mood. I love it. I love it. Celebrate to the end because it's ending. What, tomorrow is your last day of February, isn't it?
I know, man.
Yeah, February's gone.
Yes,
Can
February's
you
gone.
imagine?
Yes, tomorrow is the 1st.
So we've got someone watching from South Carolina. We've got Alabama. Wow. Thank you all for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Florida. Mary, hello. Hello, Mary. But Doc, yeah, let me get you to introduce yourself. And also we'll dive in today and talk about all about the 24-hour economy. I know you have a presentation as well. But what does the 24-hour economy mean? A lot of people have been asking, is it that we're, 24 hours? Okay. Hi, Moses, Luxembourg. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Dallas, Texas. I was there. Hello, 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 hello. So Doc, over to you.
Right. Thank you very much, Benta. And I really want to also greet our fellow participants who have joined it from all over the world, especially the Ghanaian diaspora and also our diaspora brothers and sisters, and Afro-Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Global. Thank you so much for joining this. And I think that the massive turnout actually is indication that a lot of people are very interested in the 24 economy, but much more interested in Ghana, seeing the development that Ghana brings and how they can participate in the economic growth and create wealth for themselves, and also be able to help to build a Ghanaian economy that will be a showcase to the rest of the world. So I'm very excited to be able to share the 24 Economy Program. So my name is Dr. Ishmael Nee Amanododu. I'm the Director and Head of Partnerships of the 24 Economy. And my work involved bringing stakeholders together, private sector, government, development partners, development finance institutions, investors, all stakeholders within the ecosystem of an economy, and work with you to harmonize your interests and also direct your interest towards the 24 economy prospects and opportunity. So talking to you this evening is one of the work that we do. And I'm here, my fund 24 team, the team of investors, advisors are also online, and they will be able to answer some of the questions that may come around. So yeah, so I'm very excited to be able to share with you the 24 Economy Program.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, we have them on. Should we bring them on later or leave them on?
They just joined, so I'm sure that when it's time to answer questions, they'll prompt me, and I'll prompt you to give them an opportunity to be able to share perspectives. Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Good. So I'm ready.
Okay, perfect. So we'll go into the presentation.
Good.
So today, we're going to be presenting the 24-hour economy, the program, and the investment opportunities for the diaspora.
So can you see my screen okay?
Yes, it's perfect.
Fantastic. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. So my presentation today, I would provide a brief overview of the 24 economy, why we do it, what are the investment opportunities in key strategic projects that we have identified as a basis to catalyze the development of the economy. Most of them will be greenfields, but of course the 24 economy also covered brownfields. Then I'll touch a bit on what our financing strategy looks like, and that could also present some of the ideas to you. And I'll touch a little bit on challenges and opportunities, how we're turning challenges to opportunities, to really underscore the work that we have done to de-risk your investment and make sure that your investment is worthwhile. It can generate the returns that you're looking for. And it also affords you the opportunity to become part and parcel of the Ghanaian economy. Because we believe that our investors who invest in the 24-hour economy is a strategic partner of the 24-hour economy authority that actually leading this. So what is the 24-hour economy and where did it come from? So when we look at Ghana's economy, what we see is an economy that really depends largely on export of raw materials, and then you import finished goods, and you add no value to your raw materials. So when you look at our strategic raw materials that Ghana already has been exporting, we're exporting crude oil in raw form, we're exporting gold in raw form, and then we're exporting cocoa in raw form. But the value of the crude oil, how much we get out of it vis-a-vis the actual value of it in the global market is less than maybe 20%. The same applies to our gold, the same applies to our cocoa. So it begs the question, why do you export such strategic raw materials that are capable of generating billions and billions of dollars to you that you can really invest strategically in the economy to address some of the basic needs of your citizens, and also unleash and catalyze different economic prospects within the economy? That you always look at raw materials. And it also begs the question, why do we therefore import the things that we depend? We import as much as $3.5 billion, for example, of food. And this comprises all types of food, including our proteins. And it will be interesting to followers to know that we import as much as $350 million per year of intestines and offals of fowls. Now, it begs the question, why do you do this? So if you look at a food import bill of almost $3.5 billion per year, and then you look at pharmaceuticals, which is almost $400 million per year, then you look at garments and textiles, and you look at all other things that we depend on, and even our digital economy, where we actually export jobs close to $200 million to keep our data overseas for most of the companies that are here. It means that we are running an economy that is deformed, and that economy is exporting jobs and is not able to give you the prospects that you want to see, and the improvement in the living condition you want to see in your communities. So the 24-hour economy is therefore about building an economy that caters for the needs of everyone, every hour of the day, ensuring that we maximize time in use for what we do. And we believe that if your products are that highly sought after, and you are adding value to them, then you'll be able to create a global market need, a global demand that will ensure that you will continuously be able to produce to meet those demand. And the notional view of what we call 1-3-3 shift, which is one job, 3 people doing it, and in 8 hours per shift. And this is very possible. It is an integral part of the vision that we have, that our economy do not sleep. Our economy will be optimized in terms of its ability to produce to global market, and also meet the needs of Ghanaian market, and sufficiently meet the needs of industries in West Africa, and then leverage the African Continental Free Trade Area. And this was the vision that we conceived during the campaign, and becomes the president's campaign message. And then we put in our energy where our money where our mouth is, and today we have the 24-hour economy. So it presents the most comprehensive economic transformation program for Ghana, and it aims to truly catalyze industrialization, ensure that we accelerate export, and create the needed jobs, decent jobs that Ghanaians need. And this project that means that we have to look at how we deal with the structural deformity of the economy. And there are 3 critical pillars that you see the way we produce. So production transformation. And what I mean by that is, how do you bring in technology? How do you bring in how do you modernize the way you produce? So no longer hose and cutlasses in the farms, but using industrial machinery. Looking, for example, how do you select your seeds and grow your seeds and multiply your seeds so that you keep the integrity of your genetics. So when we are dealing with production, agricultural production, then the commodities are produced in the quality that the world is looking for. Because Ghana, we discovered that Ghana has unique type of commodity structure. So when you look at, for example, cocoa, our cocoa's quality is unrivaled to any part in the world. Our crude is the same, and everything that is produced from Ghana soil or in the oceans or produced for our bedrocks have unique quality that can create unique selling point for the commodities. So we are very keen to maintain the integrity of the genetic material of whatever we produce. And in the production transformation, you look at how do you bring in modern technology. For example, can you use remote sensing and AI technology to look at precision agriculture, the amount of fertilizer you have to produce, the number of the amount of irrigation facilities, and how do you modernize your extension services structure so that there is R&D infused in our production to increase our productivity per farm. So structuring the production system is very important. The second element is maintain the quality and the quantity integrity of the products. In other words, moving products quickly to the farm gate. And by farm gate, I mean market or to agro-processing facility. And so this has to do with what we call the infrastructure for strengthening markets and logistics. And then the third one is human capital workforce. So what the 24-hour economy program does is bring strong alignment between production, logistics, finance, and the market to make all these very efficient for the private sector. So we look at it from both policy initiatives that will allow this alignment to happen, and then the program initiatives, and then the efficient of implementation of the program. So if you are an investor, anything that would help you to be able to feel confident to invest in by way of the risking the enabling environment for investment, we are very committed to do that at the very highest level through legislative instrument that the government has passed for the 24 Economic Authority, and at the same time working with you to shepherd your investment to apply the use of proceeds into specific areas that can catalyze high rates of returns and wealth creation. And with that, we are looking at the key sectors of the productive economy that generate wealth. Number one, we have the first program called Grow 2024 that deals with agriculture. It deals with how we address the issue of food security, climate resilience, creating jobs by ensuring that we have a high level of productivity, and also ensuring that raw material is there for the industry to be able to add value to the product. The second is May 24, which has to do with how we move from transition from import resilience to manufacturing by way of strengthening local production capacity and expanding value addition in strategic key sectors. And the key sectors we have selected are the pharmaceutical sector, the garments and textile sector, the sectors that deal with how do you build industrial machines to power industrialization, and then digital infrastructure. Then the Bill 24 is relating to transforming our construction and engineering sector, looking at local materials that can industrialize our country through building resilience and inclusive global competitive economy, so that our engineering structure, our transportation and everything, we have the technology from Ghanaians, and the Ghanaians can build it cheaply to also strengthen the heart of the 24 economy, which is connectivity and infrastructure. Now, we also believe that, especially in the diaspora, one of the things that we believe is very critical is how we capitalize on the value of our culture. You know, any any country that or any economy that has developed has actually been able to commoditize their culture and extend the culture and create market value for it. For example, today most of you go to Chinese restaurants wherever country you are to eat Chinese food. Now, well, Ghana has got a wide variety of food that are extremely tasty, and the way you produce them has a very interesting cultural effect to it. And then how then do we bring those? So we have the jollofs and we have the fufu and have the bankus, but there's apepensaya and there's all types. There's also unique music, the Afrobeat music, but the highlight that Ghana has that you play, then it's also our film industry that needs to be strengthened and so on. So the show 24 looks at how do we protect our African identity, and this is very, very important, and creative excellence globally through culture and tourism and creating those as tourism value chains to generate jobs and export our national pride. The fourth one is Connect 24. This is at the heartbeat of connecting logistics, finance, and markets. So Connect 24 is build an integrated, cost-efficient, and inclusive supply chain ecosystem to improve our competitiveness. Fund 24, because the 24-hour economy is really about mobilizing private sector, then it means that we mobilize private sector in various ways through specific investment. And today we are talking about investment through investment in different ways. So maybe blend financing. Are they interested in SDG bonds, for example, climate finance, or any other instruments that make for ensuring that we link the opportunities and the prospects within the 24-hour economy with finance. And this finance, behind the finance, will be individuals, families, entities that want to generate wealth in our economy. So the Fund 24 works with you to look at all types of financial engineering that are very, very bespoke to your interest and can help you with it. Aspire 24 deals particularly with equipping Ghanaians with entrepreneurs, producers, or workers with digital, technical, and vocational skills for the industrial innovation that we're looking at. There are a lot of you in the diaspora that have developed different AI solutions or technology solutions or digital solutions that can attune to our market. Now, this is your opportunity to be able to find your technology interests in a country. Within the Aspire 24, it affords you the opportunity to invest in the TVS sector. It affords you the opportunity to invest in BPO processes and to invest in the AI and data centers and so on. But the idea is that once you enter the 24-hour economy and you belong to that ecosystem, we create an economies of scale for you within West Africa. So pulling the markets that we already have together for you, the markets in Mali, Niger, Burkina, the Sahel countries, or the markets in our neighbors of Togo and Benin that we are linked with, and then the markets in Sierra Leone and Liberia, and to some extent Guinea. So in a nutshell, you do have opportunities for economies of scale to bring all types of digital infrastructure that you have built to really support markets, to create financial instruments, to link diaspora interests into the 24-hour economy, and so on. And then Go 24, which is about what makes us Ghanaians, what makes us patriotic individuals who are running our economy with our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. And here is an opportunity to mobilize the diaspora in a very powerful way through relationship as our brothers and sisters, and through things like residents, things like citizens, but working together to build the Ghanaian that we want. So why are we doing this? I preface the conversation to say that look, our economy is deformed in the sense that you have an economic structure in which you import 90% of the various things that you need, whether it is food, or it is technology, or it's garment, or it is medications, pharmaceuticals, you import everything. Whereas you have the opportunity to be able to do that. As a result, you export massively your jobs. And the 24-hour economy is about wealth creation and jobs. And it's about building a society that can take Ghana to the next level. A wealthy society, strong middle class, that can take Ghana to the next level. It's about building an economy where, in spite of having the poor always with you, the poor will have opportunity to create wealth for themselves because they can take their talent into the market and make something of it. So when you look at what we have today, our economy does not create jobs. So we looked at from 1992 GDP growth from 1992 to 2022 when we're reflecting the 25 economy. And with this data, you see that when our economy was almost close to 10 billion GDP a year, for every $100 added to the GDP, we are creating about 70 jobs. Then as our economy has ballooned to almost $87 billion around 2022, now it's about 110 billion, and there's a projection that is going to be around 40 billion. If we continue the same trajectory of imports, of everything we depend on, then our job growth on the right, as you can see, is completely on the decline. So as the economy grows, GDP grows, your job goes down. So we have a jobless economy, and that's why we have to do this. We have to overturn it so that the graph will look exactly the same for GDP and for employment rate on the left. So as we go positive GDP growth, we should have positive job creation. So to achieve this, we believe that it's extremely important to guide the 25 Economic Development Program with some key principles. And the key principles were drawn from lessons we learned, reviewing previous policies, different policies such as 1D1F, Ghana Beyond Aid, Vision 2020, Kwame Nkrumah 7-year development plan, and all the things that we have tried to look at as a way to address poverty reduction, create jobs, and so on. So the key principles we thought are very critical to Harman is we don't want to approach solving this economic deformity problem in isolation. We want to make it an integrated value chain approach, where when we take the cassava, we look at the large variety of products that the cassava itself can give, and make sure that we optimize the derivative products coming out of it. And by so doing, we'll be creating industries on the site, and then we're creating the jobs and we're looking at. But at the same time, the made in Ghana products finding expression in market will be in variety. So if you take cassava, you can be able to sell cassava flour, ethanol out of it, or some pharmaceutical or beverages that will come out of the ethanol, or some pharmaceutical products by way of medications and so on that should be able to find expression in the market. So out of cassava can come many other products. In the same way, today the president has said by 2030 we do not want to export any raw material. So if you take the chocolate, cocoa, not just chocolate, but different varieties of what we can do with cocoa, that should find, and they'll be labeled made in Ghana products. Now, if these products have become high demand, and we believe they would be, then industry will have to organize themselves into shifts to meet the demands and offtakes of the market. So we want to do value chain approach. The other thing is that the 24-hour economy, now being an authority, then has been given the legislative powers to do what we have envisaged, which is to coordinate all ministry, department, agencies, and all the activities that are associated with the 25 economy, to align them to give effect to the private sector involvement. The second is to ensure that we coordinate regulatory reforms that should help to make the 25 economy program become successful. For example, strengthening our procurement laws to ensure offtake of locally production made in Ghana products, or providing incentives for manufacturing to be able to take on incentives in terms of if you do a shift, incentives in terms of tariffs for import of manufactured products. And the president I just said, if you're operating within the 25 economy, your import duty is waived for equipment that you bring in manufacturing. So these are the 25 economy then becomes a very powerful coordinating advisory, player coordinating advisory role, as it should be, because the 25 economic covers multidimensional sectors, and there's no agency in government in Africa that actually do this. So our work, the economy touches on fisheries. It will touch in its Ministry of Fisheries, it touches on energy, it will touch on agriculture, it will touch on climate resilience, it will touch on water, it will touch. So we have to be able to coordinate all these things and provide one-stop shop for the private sector to do it. And much more, be able to advocate for the interests of the private sector to drive the economy on the floor of cabinet. And so this is very powerful. So our core programs will be just to stimulate the private sector. And therefore we are designed such that the real benefits will first accrue to the one who financed the bankable projects and then to the larger economy. So you see how we are taking very good care of your interest and ring-fencing your economy, your money, and I'll show how we do that. So in a nutshell, instead of sectoral approach, we're moving on to the integrated approach through planning on value chain, providing synergy, ensuring that we coordinate all the different parts of the economy and link them together. In other words, we provide a one-stop shop for providing the connectivity between finance, logistics, production, market, and trade. And I think this is very important. So one of the signature projects is called the Volta Economic Corridor. And this is the opening of a green field that I like to take this opportunity to really say, I want to woo your interest in those. The Volta Economic Corridor is our flagship initiative and is aimed at transforming the Volta River Basin into an integrated national and regional special economic corridor. So in that, I'll show you the corridors that we have opened, the number of investment opportunities that are in that corridor that we want you to be interested in. These are largely green fields, but then there's also opportunities for brownfield projects based on how we mobilize and organize the sectors so that you can be able to look at what you want to do in this. So in the Volta Economic Corridor, if you look at the map, the blue part is actually the lake. Now, it's the most unutilized assets of Ghana. Now, when Kwame Nkrumah created hydroelectric dam, it created the hydroelectricity to be able to power industrialization around the Volta Dam. And that was the main idea, because if you look on the map, the western parts of the country, that's where you have a lot of development, because that's where they were extracting the gold, the diamonds, and so on. So our colonial, the British colonial government really invested in railways and infrastructure there only to be very extractive, and there was nothing about industry. So Kwame Nkrumah was looking at the other side, the Volta Economic Corridor, to open corridors for massive agricultural production, value-added agricultural production, and put in railway technology and railways infrastructure, but they also use the water as the basis for the transport to open a new frontier of economic corridors that would diversify our economy from just extractive nature of natural resources to agriculture and industrialization. And so it started doing that. So the Volta Economic Corridor has been reinstated. And so this is the dream now. And it will be the massive area for transport. It can be dredged all the way to the north, to Burkina Faso, and can even, to the eastern side to border with and Togo and Benin. And it's really provides the basis for our various economic corridors. Now, the green things that you see are what we call the agroecological part. So we've organized for the basis of industrialization. We've organized and planned the country around, or the production zones around what we call agroecological zone, which is really farmlands. And I explain why it's called agroecological. And then the red ones you see are the strategic locations of industrial parks. We intend to have more than 70 industrial parks and more than 25 industrial parks and more than 17 agroecological parks. Now, agroecological parks will do the following. It will be able to conform to environmental and social standards. In other words, it would seek to maintain the ecological integrity of the river basin. So if you are an impact investor or you are a ESG investor, you don't have to worry about it because the production will conform to that. Then it's also being promoted as the net zero green corridor, so that the production there can also lend itself to attraction of carbon finance. So if you're an investor and you come in, you already be able to meet all the ESG requirements for the base of investment. And so this is why I call agroecological park. And next to it is connectivity through the water or through inland ports or internal transport streams or infrastructure or railways to be able to catch the raw materials on time to industrial zones for processing and so on. So our business approach to the industrial parks and to wooing your investment, number one, that the government will de-risk the investment for you by way of policy, by way of strengthening production transformation, and by also guaranteeing off-take land model, and then giving you land security through what we call a participatory land access model. And also, look at blend financing and then special purpose vehicles for infrastructure development. And if you bring your money, you become an investor-led person who really would deliver this thing. So government will provide an enabling framework to ring-fence your investment to be able to and ensure that there's a strong aftercare for you to succeed. At the same time, we'll anchor your production, your investment into through large-scale farms or cooperatives or SMEs, so that you find expression of the market very quickly. Your raw material comes in, is organized, and is all coming to you. You can predict your production, you can make off-take agreement, and you can sustain that production. At the same time, one of the ways we're de-risking is affording opportunity to be able to buy power, sustainable power from captive energy producers who will give it to you at 5 to 7 cents per kilowatt hour, with the most competitive price for industrialization. And your product will already have market to it. As I said, local market. If you were to produce food into the system, then your food could be absorbed perhaps 100%, because at the moment our import bill is 3.5 billion, and Ghana's population is 35 million. It will be 50 million population by 2050. So in the next 20 years, we're going to add about 15 million people. So we're adding almost 1 million people to our population every year. That is an expansion of market by 1 million people. And there will be a raft of incentives that we will give you, from tax rebate to export incentives to shift incentives, time in use, energy, and so on. And these incentives will be announced shortly, perhaps within the next month or two, and that will give you that comfort to be able to invest. So what are the investment opportunities which we have put in strategic projects? Number one are the industrial parks. Now, by the industrial parks, we are focusing on the key sectors, the following key sectors: agro-processing, machine and technology, pharmaceuticals, and garments and textiles. So why do we do industrial parks? If you look at the Malaysian example, industrial parks are very key because it provides strategic co-locations of anchor tenants. So if you, for example, you are investing in a corridors, the cassava corridor, and then, by the way, the corridors are cassava in terms of agricultural products. We have the cassava, the vegetables, the grains, rice, maize. Then we have the oil seeds, which is the soya, the granules, the palm oil, and then we have the bono poultry cluster, and then we have the blue economic cluster, both inland fisheries aquaculture, aquaponics, and also marine culture. So these are the agroecological corridors that we're looking at. So if you are in a cluster for production cluster, then you will receive, maybe you will take cassava, peel the cassava, get it into a cassava flour. Then someone wants to do industrial starch, use it for packaging for industrial output, will buy that for you. Someone will buy that for you, also and use it for ethanol. The person take the ethanol for beverages. So we are in a path to give structure that efficiency of one company's output become the raw material of the other, and so on and so forth. And it also helps us to be able to plan for import substitution and diversify economy. It provides a plug and play infrastructure. So you come in, there's electricity, there's water, and the land is there, and everything is there. So you just get your factory machine, set it up the way you want it, and then you just move. And it also provides an AFC advantage through duty-free access to about 1.5 billion consumers, and using Ghana as the hub. And then there's policy incentives, a regulatory framework that helps you to make it. So the first one is the Legon Pharmaceutical Innovation Park. It's a pharma hub that will be anchored around University of Ghana. Now, Legon is the brand. So the pharmaceutical park will not necessarily be University of Ghana, but will be dotted around the Eastern University of Ghana. University of Ghana will be the R&D and innovation hub, but the manufacturing hubs will be dotted around 7 parts of the Eastern region and to the Volta Economic Corridor, Akuse, and so on and so forth. So there's a land that we have identified, a huge stretch of land through our participating land access model that can help you. Now, what it would do is to do contract manufacturing for a wide range of off-takers in the medical market. It will produce nutraceuticals and herbal medicines to food supplements, and it will be structured as a regional hub for essential medicines and vaccine and health products. So there will be essential products that we produce from them. So they will do vaccines, APIs, anti-malarials, ARVs, and then it has a regulatory advantage because it will be conceived as a regional entity, so that you'll be able to find your products, quickly move to the 18 West African countries. Then we have the Tesla cluster. One will be Draspon, but there are different ones that we are looking at, and this is really to produce very high quality textile and garment program. Now, the textile market is about, the apparel market in Ghana is about, in Africa is about 31 billion 2020, with projected to be 50 billion. So that provides huge opportunity. And manufacturing, there are different places where we are looking at. So we have the Akosombo Japan cluster, but there's also the Northern cluster, and then also the Tema cluster and others. And there are a number of we now have strategic relations with a number of garment factories that are able to take have taken off-taker market opportunities to produce for different types of apparel market. So we have the North Shore, for example, they are producing for Tommy Hilfiger, Polio Assassin, and so on. So this is the level that we are looking at. And also, if you look at our textile itself, how that it is well sought after across West Africa, and then revolutionizing this through digital printing, we'll be able to expand the value of the markets. Now, one of the things that is very clear for us is that if you invest in any of the textile clusters that we are offering, and you're looking at our clothes, the clothes of the Ghana market is 100 million yards per year, and we are able to produce at the moment only 20 million, and then the rest is coming from China. So you have the opportunity to really substitute this in a very big way. The North Shore Industrial light industrial park, as I said, produce garments, and then this park is a combination of apparel, by soil processing and agro-processing, and it's directly linked to smallholder cooperatives who will provide the aggregation and the raw material production for you. And there's a huge made in Ghana demand for local content. So here you have an opportunity to produce for the schools, for example. And there is a huge infrastructure backbone for this. There is the industrial zones, the multimodal transport hub, and then we're also going to do some Tamale Air Cargo hub for this. The other opportunity is contract manufacturing for fabrication of agro equipment and light engineering, and to support agriculture. So you can have tractors and also support the textiles, pharmaceuticals, the construction sector, and to position Ghana as a West African machine manufacturing base. At the moment, industrial machines that are imported to Ghana is about 1.2. In Africa is about 5. Sorry, West Africa is about 3.something billion, and Ghana has about $800 million per year of that. So being able to produce this thing, there's something we call abobo yards, and so these are very simple to what you see in the picture there is something that can easily be produced here. So we have the Commercial Machine Technology Center with Kwame University of Science and Technology to be the innovation hub, and this will be contract manufacturing for all types of industrial machine types. I've explained what the agroecological parks, but at the moment we're going to produce about 7 parks that we have completed their feasibility and are ready to go. And these parks will produce the corridors of vegetables, the grains, the oil seeds, and so on. And so we hope that we get about 19 to 20 parks by the end of the year. To go. And they include cassava corridors, industrial corridors. This will be in Damongo, Kupe, Yape, Ketekrachi, Dambayoti. And the sugarcane industrial corridor, we find it in Sogakope, Adidome, Japan, Pando, and Dubai. And then we can have the integrated oil seeds corridors at Kumbungu, Savelugu, Nanton, West Mapusi. Then we have the integrated rice corridor at Atono, Palugu, and Pong. Then we'll have the Blue Economic Agriculture Park in the Volta Lakes along the coastal zones and also along the coastal zones. Then we have the Bono Poultry Cluster. This will also have underpinning poultry feed manufacturing company that we're also looking to come in. And I'll say that for the agriculture cluster, there's also opportunity for seed company that would actually provide the seed to form the backbone for the production. Then at the heart of the 24 is connectivity, either to the market or to the processing center. So one of the things we're offering is building Ghana's multimodal trade backbone. And this is the multimodal water economic corridor transfer, about transport system, about 1,000 kilometers inland waterway backbone. And this would, minimize cost efficiency, strengthen cost efficiency of travel now, of transport. What we realize in terms of the price of food for the market, it is about 60% transport. So if you be able to lower this by 40%, then you're going to lower the cost of food or commodity production in the country, which is very good. Because if the cost of production of the raw materials is high, then if it goes to the industry, the processing, we will not be able to be competitive. So we are cutting down the transport cost, strengthening the market efficiency systems with cold chains and minimum processing and warehousing, and price stabilization schemes as well, to be able to make sure that the farmers they can grow to scale without necessarily being afraid of glut and so on, and ensuring there is global markets through this multimodal transport system to get their goods directly into the whole thing. Then we have the Tamale Air Cargo Hub, and this is basically dedicated cargo that would feed European markets with vegetables and goods that are produced in the northern zone, and also feed northern Africa as well, and can then cut down travels by more than 1 hour to the east, to the Asians as well. So this is also one of the opportunities that is on offer that we can look into. Now, before I start talking about the financing framework, how do we finance this? I want to say that if you're interested in investment, we have the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. It's going to be our partner for infrastructure, and they are able to financial engineering to leverage 3 times what viability gap that government is going to give. So government skin in the game is to give Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund about $300 million to turn it around 3 times or 4 times. Now, they'll use it to create special purpose vehicle to ring fence the individual investment into it. And what it does is that give will own the concessions for the various industrial parks. And if you are interested in the air cargo, they still own a concession there, and they own the concession for the Volta Lake modal transport system. So if you come in, you can come in as for agroecological park. You can come in as a tenant to mobilize, invest in a cooperative of farmers that will produce at aggregated scale that you can then bulk and give it to the private sector by way of processing. Or you can create an integrated system where you have your own. You get through the participating land access model. However scale we have so far about 5 investors, that one taking 10,000 hectares for maize, and another is going to take about 40,000 hectares for palm oil, and taking 20,000 hectares for sugarcane and so on. Now, we are putting together more than 500,000 hectares of land that are very ready, litigation free, long-term concessions to use it, and the landowners are participating in SPV, so that takes away your headache. So you can either be a large-scale agricultural farmer, a processor, and you have an integrated value chain. So you produce from cassava all the way to industrial starch to ethanol to others, and for export, or you produce maize and you have major offtake agreement with Nestle and so on and so forth. I mean, we offer all of that, or you produce vegetables for not just for Ghana market, but with the regional market and so on. So whatever you are, your investment is ring fenced. Now, part of our investment framework is also to make sure that we can cater for venture capitalists, greenfields, for startups and young entrepreneurs, and so we have created what we call a small medium enterprise facility. Now, the sources of our funds could be donors, DFIs, such as grant financing, and that could be a very small part. But the major part of our financing will come from the private sector through investment in the SPVs, either for the corridors as tenants, or the builders of the industrial park to build, own, and share the equity in the SPV and actually manage the industrial park. So tenants come in, and that's where you make your money. Or you become a tenant who would decide that I want to produce antiretroviral drugs as a farmer manufacturer, or I want to produce tractors and agri equipment for sale across West Africa, and so on and so forth. Or you want to participate in the market economy itself, so that what you do is that you want to be part of a cooperative to produce agriculture, agricultural products, say 1,000 hectares, 2,000 hectares, and then you do minimum processing and you can sell to agro processing facility that can then go to the high end value chain. Whatever you decide to do, our financial framework helps you. So for small medium enterprises that are into brownfields, maybe they are cottage industry, right? They produce, they are a group of corporate farmers. They produce tomatoes. They dry the tomatoes. They do minimum processing. They package it, and they bring it to the market. You are able to access the SME facility to do that. And if you're diaspora, you can also join different financial instruments to mobilize your financing into the various agricultural economic corridors, where maybe you want to be an agriculture farmer, or you want to develop an AI technology that would help the farmers to do irrigation. So however you see fit in this, the SME facility can be catered to work with you. And because we've created an credit insurance, to enable you to access the financing at no collateral, and then cheap capital or the patient capital to be able to build your equity, and then you can come back. So for insurance, we're using GIA, GESEL, and then for the actual investment, in the facility, we're looking at partnerships with DBG, Exim Bank, and the commercial banks, and also venture capital as well. Now, if your money finds itself into the SME, then we'll be able to invest in the enterprises in whichever form. Because this is market, this is the economy. So the wide range of SME in the Ghana what are part of the AGI are small medium enterprises. Now we have an enterprise support scheme that will ensure that the SMEs will have minimum governance systems and operation systems, and they will monitor the use of proceeds and ensure that they're able to build the returns that they can pay back your money with returns. So we have worked with Bank of Ghana to create a sandbox product that is ring-fenced and then is targeted towards the 21st economy to enable SMEs to access long-term patient capital, one with no collateral, through the insurance schemes that we have created. And you also benefit from enterprise support organizations to help you to manage your investment. So we have a team of investors that will really work with you if you want to come in. Now, in the diaspora, for example, we do have private equity firms who say, look, we want to really invest in SPVs, whether in the industrial setup or in one of the industrial parks or agroecological parks. Some of them also are very much interested in investment in a air cargo hub. Others are interested in coming in to get 10,000 hectares, 20,000 hectares to produce rice or maize and for commercial quantities. So whatever interest you have, we do have a way to plug you into the program, and so that you can be able to take advantage of our market. If it is in the food sector, there's 3.5 billion market. If it is in the pharmaceutical sector, it's over $400 million per year. If it is, so that's the local market already that we do have. And so the demand is very clear, and our procurement law ensures that the local market will absorb what you produce. And we're doing everything to ensure you have incentives for production, for your manufacturing, and also the risk through other types of incentives, such as time in use for energy or captive energy, and so on and so forth. So our financial structure, number one, helps to ring-fence your finance to SPVs, and you can come in as an equity or as a debt. We're also able to mobilize. We're also able to mobilize grant financing to blend the finance so that you can have cheap capital to invest in whichever venture that you're looking at. And if you have a private sector with brilliant ideas, say you want to establish cold chains all over the vegetable production part of the corridor, then you can also bring your own financing, but also access the SME facility, blend it to be able to do it. So we are facilitating financing. We are providing expert advice to ESOs. We are using policy to de-risk the investment. We are providing incentives. We are helping with land. And so it's really great to be able to decide to invest here. Now, what are some of the challenges and opportunities? I'm coming to the end, and then we can get into questions. First, when you want to come in, you want for 25 economy to grow, an economy that will work around the clock. You need adequate power supply. You need road and transportation network. You need digital infrastructure to work. So we are addressing this through the captive energy. The Volta Economic Link provide the Volta Link transport system provide you the opportunity to fastly move your goods to the market or to manufacturing centers for export. And they do have also in the corridor, there are inland ports that are equipped with warehousing, and they are equipped with cold chains and so on. So you can preserve your product before it goes there to minimize post-harvest losses. Security concerns is also very key, because if you're going to work around the clock, you're going to also protect life and properties. For industrial setups, we know that what would have to happen is when we sign up the land, you have to look at putting housing facilities, for example, community health centers and so on. But then there's also what we call the policing the 24-hour economy, which the police department has really put together to ensure that there is safety and security around the production zones where this has taken place. And also generally within the country, the expanding infrastructure and patrols, and also strengthen the capacity of the police to make sure that we'll be able to do round the clock. At the moment, there are certain parts they can do round the clock, others are 18 hours, others 16 hours, but over time, this will become the norm and we'll be able to address it. There are certain regulatory framework that needs to be updated to ensure that you can to enhance the 25 economic program. Existing laws, regulatory such as procurement laws and time and use policy for electricity and renewable energy and green transition policy, and so on. So we're looking at all of this, and that's important to help. Then workforce readiness, which is a critical part of this. You want to come in knowing that there are essential skills that can run your industry. There are skills that workforce that you can hire to work with you. This is very, very important. And so we are working through our Aspire 24 readiness program. We're working with everyone to be able to address them. Then what are some of the opportunities? We're looking at 1.7 million jobs to be created. We're looking at expanding our economic growth. We're looking at increasing our competitiveness and improving our services. Now, all these has opportunities for all of us in this. Right. So I'll end here and then wait for questions. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you so much for that great presentation, Doc. That was so many opportunities that we see there. And I know that a couple of people have questions. So let me go to the top. Okay. I think this one was more about the land acquisition, but I think you covered it, that you will be assisting with that, because a lot of people are very scared about land and what happens to that. Do you want to talk more to that?
All right. So through our what we call the participatory land access model, we have worked with land communities to put their land into a trust. So what it does is that a trust then becomes an equity in the venture that you are investing in, and that ensures that there is longevity in the concessions of the land, and because they also have an equity in it, they feel part and parcel of this, and equity is converted also into the SPV, so they sit on the SPV board and so on, so they own part of the whole investment. And this is a very interesting way, because what it does is that it ensures there is there is value creation for the landowners, and they see themselves a part and parcel of it.
Okay, fantastic. How do we contact the office? I have a pool of capital to finance some of the projects and sponsors. Doc, so should I share? What I will do is I will share our details with people, and you can get in touch with the Goober team, and they will put you in touch with Doc. For those who have a pool of capital and are interested in some of the projects. There's a lot of projects that are available for you to invest in. Okay, I'll go to the next one. This is more of a comment. It says, I totally agree with the government have to step in the land acquisition issue. There's too much corruption in acquiring land in Ghana. Why can't the government make land acquisition a little easier for investors?
All right. Like I said, through our participation land access model, what we have done is work with landowners and pull the lands into a land bank. So you don't have to worry about, where you get land to be able to invest in. This is along the Volta Economic Corridor. But in fact, we also, even outside the Volta Economic Corridor, the participation land acquisition model is applied, so that what it does is that landowners will put their land into a trust, which become part and parcel of SPV. So then they co-own the project with you. Now, they could also be farmers who would then ensure that they have to provide their raw materials to you. So this is the way we are managing it. So through this land acquisition model, it is very easy for you to plug and play into the investment. Because the land then becomes a trust within the SPV, as an investor, you don't even know who the landowners are, but you know that this is a land that's available for this particular investment.
I think that's very, very helpful. Someone is interested in the Volta region, the Volta that you spoke about, the opportunities there.
Right. So the opportunities in the Volta Economic Corridor are huge. Either you come in, you want to invest in the agricultural corridors, such as the cassava corridor, as an anchor farmer, or tenant within a agroecological park, or you want to be a processor of cassava or any of the commodities that you then be exporting. So along the value chain, whichever interest you have, the Volta Economic Corridor is available for you to do it. And so, reach out to us and let us look at your interest, and we can direct your strategic investment into whichever area that you are looking at. Typically, if, for example, you want to come into the maize corridor, we have calculated how much volumes of maize we need and which offtake agreement you could have, and so on and so forth. So we can plug you into the realm.
So much easier. This is like, this sounds so good. And especially the fact that, Doc, you've done the feasibility, because I think one of the challenges that people are facing, or when investors come in, they have to do the feasibility studies, but it looks like the government have done all the feasibility studies already.
Yes.
That is fantastic. Okay, another question. Would the government of Ghana provide funds to support an idea of individuals that could improve the 24-hour economy?
Please, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
It says, would the government of Ghana provide funds to support an idea of individual that could improve the 24-hour economy?
Well, I mean, it depends on which idea you have. If your idea is, for example, to invest in say contract manufacturing, say you have an idea to fabricate industrial machines to produce agricultural equipment, right? If you pull that into a business plan and then cost it, then we'll be able to have a conversation with you, because we have enterprises that have come to us who are interested in this, and to join in the fabrication machine center, or they are producing pharmaceutical product. They want to produce pharmaceutical products, essential drugs or vaccines and so on. And we'll be able to talk to you, and the team of investors will look at what are the investment prospects that we can work with you to access. But typically, just when you have an idea, it doesn't stop there. We need to know what your idea is, and then we can figure out who will be able to invest in that idea to create the value and the wealth that we are looking at, right? But typically, what is very helpful is if it is an agricultural idea, if it is an agricultural idea, then perhaps most of the time what we want to see is that you have the land, but you also mobilize a group of stakeholders or cooperatives that you can work with to provide the aggregation for the raw materials that are needed for the processing, and we will link you directly to processors so that there's market for your production to go. But of course, typically, if you also you have an idea to say, okay, we want to produce vegetables to serve the urban market, then there's also that conversation to know which zones will do the production. It would be nice to be plugged into the cooperatives that we establish around the area so that we can aggregate your products. And we can also work with you to say, okay, maybe somebody can invest in also the warehouse or the cold chain to minimize your post-harvest losses, and then link you up to the logistics that bring you to the market. So we try to not just get people to come in without knowing the next steps of the value chain. All right. So yes, and our team of experts, some of whom are on the line, will work with you to be able to make that happen.
Fantastic. Somebody says, I'm interested in financing just as an investor. How much is acceptable or minimum amount, please?
Right. It depends on what the use of process is, where you really want to invest. If, say, you want to invest in the pharmaceutical park, it's about the construction of park itself, as in the bulk, it's about $250 million with the feasibility studies that is almost done. Or you want to invest in one of our anchor tenants who want to produce vaccines. So we can also link you up with the anchor tenant who also will need money to be able to expand their production, and you can come in as an equity. So please, we're very interested to speak to you, to know what you're interested in, and we can actually link you your interest and find use of process to your interest very quickly.
Fantastic. Thank you. How do we deal with hold up risk if there's a mismatch between an investor who has an appetite for a cold chain infrastructure and adjacent investment like vegetable production? Specifically, how do we protect returns if we invest before the local farming clusters are fully operational?
Right, that's a very good question. So for certain type of investment, it has to be both greenfields and brownfields, right? You start from brownfields so that you can be able to make the transition with the greenfield. So immediately we do have vegetable production areas where indeed cold chain facilities are needed. Like today, you saw in the news some of the tomatoes that are getting rotten because they don't find access to market very quickly.
Yeah.
So we would be able to address that very quickly. We know where the agro production zones are and the product producers are organized. We will organize them for you and make sure that you can start with minimum harvesting facility, processing facility, or warehouse in a cold chain in a market, so that you start with the ones that exist, and then you can look at opportunities to expand to increase the volumes of your production through the investment structure that you put in. So again, once you express that idea to us, we will be able to get back to you and talk to you to be able to ensure that your investment will find a destination. That's what our Fund 24 team, most of you are taking notes as you speak, are here. So I'll be very happy that people would reach out to us through enterprise at 24h plus, that's in 24hplus.gov.gh, enterprise at 24h plus.gov.gh. Send your expression of interest and request that you want to speak to the Fund 24 team, and say attention Ishmael, and I will be able to. I also have Kwamina here, so attention Ishmael or Kwamina, and we'll be able to reach out to you and start talking to you about specific interest.
Okay, he said he will definitely reach out. Could Ghana government nationalize the lands to reduce land misuses? I think people are really
so as I said, of course, land becomes a thorny issue, but lands have owners, and our laws don't allow nationalization. And what we want to do is not about nationalization, it's about private sector and it's about partnerships, which is why our participatory land access model provides the opportunity to have the lands to use for the areas, for the production that you want. And the land access model is structured in such a way that you obtain lands in the agroecological zones where the actual production happens, and where they have the capacity to access irrigation, to access, extension services, and to access farmer services, and so on and so forth, and seed, and so on. So, like I said, once you express your interest, we'll be able to work with you to obtain the land and to mobilize cooperatives or smallholders to construct the farm production area that you need to produce what you want to produce, and link it up to warehouse in the market to make sure that everything is very, very, very safe for you.
Okay. Localization of government ministry services should be extended to all regions for monitoring, and to allow the 24-hour service for critical services such as transport, health, and safety.
That I agree. And one of the things that we're going to do is to have representational offices in all the 18 regions that will be working with the regional coordinating councils, coordinating secretariats that are already in the region. So when it goes, for example, to the regional coordinating secretariat, where the regional offices are, regional ministers' offices and coordinating council are, you also find the 25 economy team, and who will be able to talk to you and guide you and shepherd your investment into the 25 economic growth corridors within that region.
It's the same person with another comment.
Yes, we can have local offices in the rural areas. For example, the SME facility, part of the dispensing strategies is also through rural banks as well. And we are very, the way the 24 economic program is structured, the coordination structure is the following. At the cabinet level, we have the ministerial, but we have at the technical level, regional entities and ministry department agencies at the local level who are plugged in with us. And one of the critical market they provide for your goods is also the 24 economy market, where producers can sell, say, their vegetables 24/7 in the various market that they're building. So we are very plugged in at the local level. So as I said, there will be 24 economy personnel within the regional coordinating centers, coordinating council that will be able to guide and help your investment. And they're also connected to the Association of Ghana Industry, Ghana Enterprise Agencies, and all trade unions who are at the regional level and be able to help you through.
Okay. Somebody has sent a question. How transparent will project selection and approvals be?
So, for example, the access to the SME platform, we're creating an SME financing platform. That's a number of things. Commercial banks that are going to dispense our investment would be able to look into the application to the platform, not the personality, but the strength of the application, and be able to decide if they want to invest. Now, when they decide they want to invest, there's automatic access to also the credit insurance that is also the company, not the individual, that allow them to happen. So because it's a dealing with the idea, the company, and not individuals, there is not that favoritism that you can happen, and it's very independently accessed by those who will review. The 24 Economy Authority will not be the ones that will be reviewing things for investment, but they would shepherd the investors to be able to have significant opportunities to be for success when they do invest.
Okay.
Remember, the 24 Economy program is a national program.
Yeah.
And this is the authority is a constitutionally independent body, and that is I wouldn't say apolitical, but it is not aligned to the idea of polypartyism. It is really about building an economy that works for everyone, every all the time. And so structures are put in place to ensure that there is not that chronism that are changed. So if you look at, for example, incentives, the incentive frameworks allows for independent verification of the incentives to ensure that if the incentives are given to you, you renew it every year and it's performance based, and you assess the various things that you set out to do as a result of which the incentives were given to you. Are you running 3 shifts? Can you show us your time, your shift tables, and with how many people you are employing, who are working in shift A, shift B, shift C, and who are these individuals? And we'll be able to interrogate and say, okay, can we see this one, see the one? And it's okay, you are 3 entities who are running this shift. So there's a rigorous assessment to all of this to then validate you to be able to get incentives the following year. So if you get incentives today, there's no guarantee that you can be renewed until you meet those things.
Okay. We have another question from Kwame. What are the top 3 areas, and in the areas around infrastructure, what de-risking levels include debt partners have you lined up?
Right. So the first infrastructure, it has to do with energy. And what we have done in terms of de-risking is working with energy providers who want to do captive energy. And the captive energy is mainly renewable energy. Some are solar, some are biomass to energy, waste to energy. And they provide an energy mix next to industrial parks. And the off-takers are industrial parks. So the energy mix they provide ensures that the renewable energy becomes maybe the first line of energy, and then you can top it up with a grid as well. And as we improve, as the prices tends to improve the grid, it becomes very sustainable. So the first is providing incentives for the captive energy investors to be able to invest. One is the land for them for the solar power parks or the biomass, nuclear gas investment, and so on. Then the other one is the incentives are coming by way of import of the machinery and so on and so forth. and the offtake guarantee market also being given to them. There's also the opportunity for them to structure a carbon assessment framework, so they can also, top it up their revenue through carbon credits that they get. So those are some of the things that are for the energy. The other risk is minimizing the post-harvest losses in the agricultural sector. So there's a price stabilization, and also ensuring that there's consistent pricing levels for the farmers, so they don't feel like then when there's bumper harvest, then we have challenges. So we're working with buffer stock, we're working with different players to be able to ensure that there's a price stabilization across the year for the farmers, so they don't feel like they're shortchanged. The other one is ensuring that there is increased variability, varieties of cold chains and warehousings and various strategic corridors of production, so that farmers will be able to access this to preserve their food and be able to transport them to the market. The other third one is beyond market is also transport, which we use the Volta Economic Corridor to ensure that we can cut the cost of transportation very quickly. So these are some of the things that we have done. And all this is anchored in policy. So for example, policy about the pricing stabilization. There'll be policy about the energy sales. We are looking at 5 to 7 cents per kilowatt hour. And then there will be this policy about ensuring that there's offtake agreement for local manufactured products. So your market, your first top of market is Ghana, and then the others can come. Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Can I partner with an investor? Oops, sorry.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Can I partner with an investor under the 24-hour economy initiative by contributing my 10-acre plot of land near Accra? If so, who should I contact? Are people that have maybe land that could be used under the 24-hour economy secretariat? Is that possible, that people that may have land for investment? That's what I think.
Yes. Once you have land that you also want to go into some kind of agricultural production, maybe vegetables and so on, we want to know where the land is. But truly, yes, there are people that have come to us with 10 acres, 20 acres, and they want to be vegetable farmers. And this is definitely, we'll be able to work with you as well. So just send your request and your expression of interest to enterprise@24hplus.gov.gh, enterprise@24hplus.gov.gh, and in your email, make sure that in the subject matter you can say attention Dr. Ishmael Dodu or Kwamina. Yeah. And we will reach out to you. Kwamina is on the line and he handles our enterprises, and so we'll be able to get back to you quickly.
Yes.
And so Kwamina has put it in the chat at enterprise@24hplus.gov.gh. There's also Mr. Mark Himans Mensah, who is also on the line. Edwin Abaka is also on the line.
Yep.
And so they're all listening, taking your questions. So please don't miss the opportunity to send your expression of interest to us, or even an email and request for a conversation.
Yeah. I've also shared the Goober details for people that want to know more. We can also connect you to the office, especially those who are in our network. Please do email us and we will put you straight in touch with the office for more information. Doc, also, can you share the slides with us? A lot of people that are in our network.
Yes, I'll share the slides with you from here so you can share with your network.
People want to know. But one of the last questions, because we're going to wrap up, actually our time is up, but what ticket size does the Secretariat consider serious investment?
The entire program is $4.5 billion that we, and so whatever ticket price you consider very serious, for the Volta Economic Corridor is about $350 million, and the Legon Pharmaceutical Park is about $250 million. The Tamale Air Cargo is almost $250 million as well. But if you really want to go into, say, any of the corridors, 5 to 10 million is okay to be able to start. But you can also start as low as $1 million and look at a very small micro enterprise cottage industry to, say, for example, I want to work with vegetable producers in Volta region, and I want to invest in, dried vegetables, minimum processing, and that could go into the market as made in Ghana products with a 24-hour logo on it to make sure that this is fine expression on the market and as open markets. That's fantastic too, to be able to look into that.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, Doc, thank you so much for, joining me. 1.5 hours of packed information.
Enjoyable conversations.
Enjoyable conversation. It doesn't even feel like an hour and a half, to be honest. Yes. But I know that people have really enjoyed the conversation. They seem to be very serious about investing. So I will be sending out the decks to them, and I'll be connecting them to your office as well, so that they can get more information. They can express their interest in some of the things that you have mentioned. So guys, I think this is a great opportunity for us in the diaspora. We're always talking about investing, and this has been laid out, planned for you to make it easier for you. You don't have to worry about land. You don't have to worry about anything. Everything has been insured. And so, they've done the visibility study. There's a special purpose vehicle, like everything has been done. And so I encourage you all to get in touch. And let's see how we can build the nation. We can do this together. So, Doc, thank you so much. I don't know if there's any last words that you'd like to say to people before we go.
No, let's say thank you very much. It has been an enjoyable conversation. And we really encourage all of you to engage. And, for those who have expressed interest, please write to us very quickly. We'd like to engage you and to guide you and shepherd you through the wide-ranging investment opportunities that we do have. This is an economy we are building to expand our GDP beyond 140 billion. So there's a scope for investment for everyone. And remember, this is an economy that we are building that works for everyone, all the time. So everybody has an opportunity there. We have one instrument with an entity called Grow For Me, and they will be able to work with you with whatever you have to invest. And I'm sure that they were on your platform.
Yes.
So he's also our partner. So there's no shortage of opportunities to find your investment expressed in the 24-hour economy program. Please let the diaspora, let us own this economy and invite others to join.
Yay. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you for your time. I know it's Friday evening, but you've spent the time with us, and it's been so impactful and knowledgeable as well. And now we know the opportunities that are there. So again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
All right. Guys, I hope that you've enjoyed the show. It's been so impactful. Doc has shared so much information. So now, you can demist all of the things that were going through your head about the 24-hour economy. You've heard it from him. If you are interested, please do get in touch with us. People are so happy. People are comments really insightful. Thank you, Mr. Dodu and the Guba Diaspora Network. This is what we do. We want to engage the diaspora. We want to give you the right information. So please get in touch with our office or get in touch with Doc's office directly. But we want to put you in touch. We want to make sure that the meetings are set up for you and everything runs smoothly. Okay, we want our diaspora back. We want you to invest and we want to make sure that it's impactful and we grow Ghana. We as Africans, we as Black people can grow our continent. We don't need any IMF anymore because we can do it on our own. There's land, we have everything. And so guys, again, thank you so much. If there's other entities that you'd like us to talk to or you want to know more about, please do let us know. Again, you can email us my son decided to call me. You can email us and we will send you the information. Please email us if you want the video. Please email us if you want more information. The details are on. It's info@gooberawards.co.uk. We will share the slides with you if you need that as well. But again, please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you are watching on Facebook, please do like and share this information as well. It's really important that we get the word out. So please email us and let's get this going. Let's send that in, your intention of investing. And so we will connect you as we can. Again, thank you so much for joining us on the show. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.